So, since anyway, this whole complete existence of samsara, kova, and the nirvana, the nirvana, all everything is not other than our mind. Because every individual or mind is the kind of like a cause and condition, whatever we are experiencing in this world as kind of samsara, whether experiencing happiness or suffering, there is no anywhere to blame. It is one's own mind's creation, and that is a that is the based on what the Shakyamuni Buddha has taught, and also the Guru Padmasambhava in the Vajrayana, and similarly all the past Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the Mahasiddhas and all realized beings of their all same instruction that everything is mind. And the nirvana, the liberation is also our mind. That is why Kunji Mongche Ramsam said that Simi Chibu Kunji Sadan de Gangde Kota Mani that was the way the Dora Java Yishin Nurgis Sama Chapel. So Simi Chibu 7 day. So this mind is the seed or source or potential of all everything. So if we really know that everything do what it is based on is in a kind of reality, then we can fix the world, especially one's own kind of lifetime. One can fix, and because one have the freedom and choice, because one can work with one's mind. That is how this our mind can properly train according to the its nature and according to all the teachings and instructions. Then there is a way to fix all sorts of problems. What is called samsara, the cyclic distance, this world, every individual, our own individual world, and then there is the collective projection of the collective mind of this being who born in this world, and that is how certain things we share. This our earth and the weather and the kind of landscapes and so forth. In a common way we share because we have common collective karma and collective the projection of mind, very similar kind of like habit what we have kind of created. So that way where that what is called samsara, and then the nirvana, the liberation or the enlightenment. So enlightenment is also in the enlightenment there is no collective creation. Enlightenment is more depend upon individual mind. That how we could kind of like in a way realize our own absolute nature of mind. So that is the most important thing. Of course, there is the relative mind, but then what is the absolute nature of mind? So that is, how that Buddha has taught in the second coming wheel of Dharma, third coming wheel of Dharma, and even in Kala Chakra, and then how Guru Padmasambhava has taught about all the tantras, especially inner tantra, in the Hatha Yoga tantra. All everything is that to know, the absolute nature of this mind, as we talked this morning about the view, how to establish the view, that view, how you view this world in your mind. And so that is why it's saying only for the meaning that so whatever one wish, according to that you could obtain that fruition result. And when you know how to work with your mind, there is nothing much to really fix outside in the world. If we want to have peace, happiness, joy, liberation, enlightenment, it is within the self, just knowing the kind of like true nature of mind. And that thing is so very secret. It is there, but nobody knows. Nobody knows what is the real source or cause or condition that one can experience in kind of like the total happiness or permanent happiness or enlightenment. Kind of, it is there, but nobody knows. So that is why Ajahn in the Bodhicharya avatar, in that says, that is yes, that thing I forgot. Some something I said, they took to me, can they jump? That to me in that time. Simply something I said. When we don't know these, kind of like the secret aspects of the true nature of mind, not knowing that, and then however we work hard, in our kind of million lifetimes, trying to get rid of all to collect, the achieve happiness and try to get rid of the suffering, and that way, in our day-to-day lifetime, and kind of like a cycle of lifetime, every time we are trying that, just to achieve happiness and try to get rid of the suffering, but the actual cause and condition of happiness and the suffering is not outside. It is kind of like a knowing that one's mind. So that is why when we don't know this kind of secret aspects of the true nature of mind, and then searching out for happiness and trying to get rid of suffering, how many lifetimes that eons and eons lifetime we work hard, we never ever achieve that total happiness or kind of like a ultimate happiness or the permanent happiness or what it means nirvana or the enlightenment cannot achieve. So this is in a way I'm not making up, and I'm not kind of like creating something idea, and I'm not expressing kind of something just of my own thought. It's not what the Buddha has said and what the Guru Padmasambhava and what all the kind of my great masters and how they taught and what we see in the book, in the teaching. And according to that, one study and then contemplate and then try to practice, and that it established in a very logical way, with the logical reasoning how it is kind of like explained. So this is anyway just most important thing that what we need to discover about one's own true nature of mind. So according to that, then one have to have the intention, right intention every time. So the intention anyway, what is called Chanchusen, bodhicitta mind, the awakened mind. That is why as Acharya Shantideva from the text, that Bodhichara avatar, that is also in English now, English and many other languages. I think maybe, even Nepalese language. So, it is very, very, very good to find those books and then read and then contemplate and then kind of do some like research and try to discover what it is kind of talking about. So these books are not like those heritage books, very famous books. Those are all sorts of funny things and stories and fun, have lots of fun, but there is not much meaning. But like these books, give you so much of wisdom and they develop your view how to live this world and how to deal with your life, how to deal with your family, how to deal with your kind of rest of the human beings, how to understand about what is the tradition, what is the culture, what is the religion, what is the belief system, what is the kind of situation in the world, why it is happening. All those can be solved through kind of like just understanding one specific meaning of the kind of true nature of mind. So that is why this bodhicitta, like compassion, generating compassion to all sentient beings. And then first start with your family. When family have problems, issues, then kind of instead of looking in a negative way, you just kind of try to generate more compassion and a sense of just loving kindness, a sense of caring for the feelings of others, of one's family, one's relatives, and then one's neighborhoods, and then the rest of all other human beings, how to just understand. That is the main practice. That is the main practice in our day-to-day lifetime, what that Buddhas have taught. And with that, in a way here, with the right intention, generated bodhicitta that wish to help and benefit to all the sentient beings to be liberated from the suffering of samsara and cause of samsara, and then one wish and wants to help to liberate out of the samsara and lead them to ultimate happiness. That is the enlightenment, the Buddhahood. So enlightenment, when you gain this transcendental wisdom, and when you gain this knowledge, when you gain these Buddha nature qualities, you are already enlightened in certain state. You feel already liberated in certain level. But to completely get liberated, then have to do those practice continuously until one achieves that Buddhahood. So that way, for that reason, then one wants to, for example, like right now, listen to these seven-line prayer, how that through the seven-line prayer, how one can just go through process of the purification of this obscuration, such as like afflictive emotion, how this afflictive emotion can become just less and less and less, and then finally purified. And also, through the seven-line prayer, understanding and contemplating and practicing, and how that it can help to purify one's own karma. All sorts of beginning less lifetimes karma, negativities, whatsoever one has accumulated, how it can be purified. Those that can be purified. And then how one can drop the samsaric habitual tendency, how to drop, how to get rid of it, how to let it go. For that, then need to know the just nature of this phenomenon. That's just the nature of the afflictive emotion, the nature of the habitual tendency, the nature of the three spheres of conceptual thinking. Three spheres of conceptual thinking. Those one can understand when we just generate bodhicitta with the kind of wish to attain enlightenment to benefit all other beings. And with that intention, then we go through the seven-line prayer. The seven-line prayer itself, as we have gone through, seven-line prayer itself has the whole complete the explanation and the kind of like a method or the solution or or the kind of technique that how one can kind of engage into that practice, where you can establish again this morning I mentioned how to establish that perfect view. According to that perfect view, how you can engage into through meditation. And then through that, meditation is more like what is called meditation equipoise. Really sitting there with the seven positions of Buddha Bharatan sitting there, and then let it go on to talk, and then we try to maintain the absolute true nature of mind, which is called the view. Then you can meditate on it. That is in Nyamsha, meditation equipoise. And then you are not kind of sitting into meditation for whole day. And then certain period of time, 1 hour, 2 hours, you do that practice, and then you kind of get what is called post-meditation. So at the post-meditation, then discipline or moral conduct, discipline, how to discipline your mind, how to discipline your corporalization, how to discipline your body. Even in our religious world, there are so many disciplines, in school, in army, in any other group, society, nation. There are so many disciplines. To just to behave, in a right way. So here spiritually, the mental discipline is try to be on the deep, and then the speech discipline try to do this seven-line prayer or Bharat Guru mantra or rest of so many other prayers, aspiration prayers, or many deities mantras. That is how you get your speech, kind of used to that discipline, and that helps speech, obscuration, karma. And at the same time, while you are busy with the mantra, while you are busy with the seven-line prayers, supplication, while you are busy with many other kind of chanting prayers, it is accumulating merit. So you don't have opportunity to create any negative speech. There is nothing that you want to say anything bad about somebody else. There is no anything to complain. There is no anything to kind of like get afflicted in kind of corporalization. There is no opportunity. Your speech discipline is always in that kind of like a field of the dharma. And then physically, this our body, kind of maintaining that what is that view. So more or less based on the bodhicitta and compassion, once we physically, no need to harm anybody. No need to harm, no need to just kind of do anything negative through physical, no need to just like create any kind of problem with our physical body. Just be like in the sutra, it's saying about kind of like the eightfold path, right view, right conduct, right effort, right meditation, right discipline, and so forth. So something which means kind of right is not in the sense of in the school, kind of like question and answer that saying right. Here is right is according to that bodhicitta. As long as you are maintaining within the whole complete system of this bodhicitta, you are abiding in right discipline. And so it is condensed into just like the Buddhism's discipline is non-violence. Ahimsa, non-violence. So, and that possibility to maintain that non-violence when you have this non-violence mind, there's no religion. That way, kind of once in the post-meditation stage, then what is called the moral concept of discipline, the due meditation discipline. When oneself is following in this way, kind of within our body, speech, mind, kind of in our daily life, then the liberation from samsara and then the enlightenment is it is on the way. So how to just follow that? Then here with the kind of sermon and prayer, it explains all about it and through which which we have gone through this the sermon and prayers meaning and that which is related with the like Guru Padmasambhava's life, the relative life, which is relative display. Guru Padmasambhava's relative life display just to kind of like show to rest of all other kind of like human beings to how to understand, to follow a path, to attain that kind of like enlightenment. Now through the several prayer, the practice, after having that understanding, then how one can do that practice. That is also given here instruction by Ramamivanamuche based on the seven prayer. That saying, Rangi Dugi number, Pujin Yugi Chara. Tibetan Buddhism, very understand Chekaprama to Korpo Kong, Kilkung Kachavata, and Selken to Mipa Temba. Tera, Professor de Boston Buddhism to Jupiter, and Niente, and Kirim Duvani. So, to do the several prayer practice, then one needs to visualize in front of oneself. This one is like, Dana Pasha Lake. Dana Pasha Lake where that Guru Padmasambhava was born. So, not necessarily have to be just there. No, through the visualization, one visualizes in front of oneself like a symbolizing Dana Pasha Lake, a very huge lake, just water lake. And that Dhanapasha lake, the water, has all those kind of special quality, not like the normal water that we need to kind of like purify and so forth. And that water is kind of like clean and clear, and as a water very light, and it does not harm kind of your throat. It does not harm your stomach, when you drink that water, and it has kind of very good smell, not like muddy water, not stinky smell. So that Dhanapasha lake has all those qualities, and that way one just kind of visualize that lake. Inside there is the kind of lotus, and upon the lotus, then there is the Guru Padmasambhava. So Guru Padmasambhava, we have lots of pictures and statues, how that Guru Padmasambhava used to kind of appear. And similar like that. Then as one kind of have that visualization that with the kind of like a substitution prayer to Saranan prayer, that first when you chant, it is like you go through the process of the visualization of Dhammapada lake and lotus and then the Guru Padmasambhava. And then second time when you chant, you chant the second time, and then you just kind of make it more kind of like clear as like as pure as the Buddha feel, pure. And then third time you just kind of like chanting, invoke the Guru Padmasambhava. That Guru Padmasambhava is still alive in the Kapur mountain, Sambopedi, Guru, which is holy place, Kapur mountain. So don't have to just travel there. Don't have to find. You just visualize and you have that imagination, visualization. And then third time that you are invoking, when you chant, that you are just invoking or you are inviting Guru Padmasambhava. And when your mind is sincere as we have gone through, sincere with the devotion, with the faith and with the trust and with the relying. That is also not just kind of like blind faith, but with the logical reasoning, that understanding about the Guru Padmasambhava's kind of life story and Guru Padmasambhava's all those enlightened special qualities, body, speech, mind, qualities. And when you know that, then the devotion naturally arrives. So that way, then as you kind of invoke, then you have to feel like in front of the real Dhammapada lake and real lotus, and then real Guru Padmasambhava, the wisdom being in front. So it is all again mind creation, mind imagination, and this especially in Vajrayana, it is kind of like the in Tibetan saying never easy. So we kind of imagine, there is the whole complete pure field of the Guru Padmasambhava. Just want to create that, because this all samsara is created by our mind. So now, instead of having this samsara, we want to kind of create the pure thing. And once it is kind of just comfort and dissolve there, then it is just imagine. It is the real Dhammapada with Guru Padmasambhava, and that is the not just thinking, it is my imagination, my visualization, and in reality it is not there. Not just falling into this kind of conceptual mind. Just imagine and feel and then kind of maintain. So of course in that way there is related with the Vajrayana, like giving and Tohim, giving the generation state, imagination. Then Tohim means completion state. So completion state means kind of like emptiness nature. So creation is imagining everything as pure field. One just imagining, for example, like Guru Padmasambhava's kind of like whole just figure, just through just with the text or without text, kind of Guru Padmasambhava just visualize how it appears. But that appearance is not like concrete, solid, substantial, kind of like this is samsara. Something that which is kind of pure. It appears, but there is no any substantial thing. So those are anyway a little bit difficult until one gets used to these kind of like practice. So that meditation having completion stage is kind of understanding, still it is in emptiness. So as this morning we talked about the appearance is emptiness and emptiness is appearance. Emptiness is not other than the appearance and appearance is not other than emptiness. So this, in reality, we should have this kind of understanding and this kind of imagination and this kind of visualization, and then where one concentrates one's mind in that way, have to do that practice. When we do that in the practice, have to feel in that way. Even one could not have that much, but as feel, or that the Dhamma Lake and Guru Padmasambhava is there. Then in front of that, one should go accumulating the Saranam prayer over and over. And then after some time, the Vajra mantra, and this whole complete practice, purpose is that in the Saranam prayer, just saying, Khenchen Tsewang Gyatso, after after you, I want to follow, and that we have gone through this morning. After you, after Guru Padmasambhava, I want to follow. It's not like the mother is followed by the child. Not like that. Which means what that Guru Padmasambhava have engage into deep practice, and then they attain complete enlightenment. That the Guru Padmasambhava enlightened body, speech, mind, and activity. Same like that, one wants to actualize. So for to actualize that, then Khenchen Tsewang Gyatso. So it's not like just only following after it. It means how Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened mind is. And it is that our mind is the pure, deep, absolute nature of mind. And how Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened speech is about mantra. How Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened body is like the enlightened that which does not have any concrete, solid flesh and bone life. That is nothing there. I think yesterday or this morning I mentioned about that the Guru Padmasambhava's body is like the rainbow body. There is no any real substance. So that is what in a way called the Vajra body, Vajra speech, Vajra mind. So we also want to actualize that, our own Vajra body, Vajra speech, Vajra mind, exactly how Guru Padmasambhava had like actualized. And that way one has to engage into practice. And then chanting Saranam prayer, and then Vajra Guru mantra, and itself is also a kind of method to do supplication prayer to Guru Rinpoche. And it also has just extensive explanation of the Vajra Guru mantra. So here that what Lama Rinpoche explained, our three doors to actualize the Vajra body, Vajra speech, like the the Guru Padmasambhava, to do but so one wants to actualize in that way, and according to that way, where one try to get more close to the enlightened body, speech, mind of the Guru Padmasambhava. So this is when one just have understanding and do more and more practice. After a while, when you do practice, you naturally feel you are getting closer to the Guru Padmasambhava's whole system. One can feel when one does that practice, because it helps to purify, then inner quality just arise. So it talks about Nyamba and Nyen and so forth. Kaiser Mama Puje Ramjan Chuju Disenship Secretary Ramjan Chap Korean Chap Dure and Twitter Kimchi and Shua and Hala Timber Jubas. So then in that way, through the generation state, chanting Savana prayer and Bhajan mantra and that kind of we through that practice. And then is the completion stage. Completion stage is like after some time that the whole Dhanapasha lake, lotus and Guru Padmasambhava, everything just melt into light. And that light can be dissolved into oneself. When it dissolves into oneself, then it helps that one ordinary body, speech, mind, all everything kind of instantly purified because of the enlightened body, speech, mind of the Guru Padmasambhava dissolved into oneself. And that way, just where one to rest in kind of like a meditation. Meditation just kind of keeping one's body, speech, mind, and Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened body, speech, mind is kind of like non-dual. So this is non-dual. It's not like this our ordinary body, speech, mind. Ordinary and enlightened, not necessarily possible to become kind of non-dual. Non-dual means kind of like almost same. So that which is related to our kind of like our the Buddha nature. Our Buddha nature's quality of that the Vajra body, Vajra speech and Vajra mind. That our true nature. That and Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened body, speech, mind become kind of non-dual. Then kind of without any other thought, then keep in like meditation, just to maintain that the conditioned state, that deep. Chuyul Seta Chivatonje, Aton Ha Demi Moje, Nilu Moin Kishi, Ramju Kishi Kan Bate, Otoba Kanye, Voto, Majut Guru, then saying, according to the Ati-yoga means according to the Tokchen, that view is kind of like explaining that explain according to the absolute reality, absolute truth, or the absolute primordial pure nature. So according to the absolute primordial pure nature, the external kind of earth is like Guru Padmasambhava's kind of pure field. And all the houses are like the Guru Padmasambhava's kind of pure palace. And then all the beings are the kind of like according to the absolute reality, according to the absolute pure kind of nature, all are just male or female like a deity. That is the absolute reality and absolute truth and the absolute nature, that absolute nature. And that is the kind of in the Vajrayana what is called the fruition, the result aspect, applying into kind of practice as day before that as I explained about when Shakyamuni Buddha passing away, and then Shakyamuni Buddha thought that if you have final question, Then one Bodhisattva, stood up and asked question, and then he mentioned that, oh, Buddha, you didn't give that the fruition level of kind of practice. I don't know if anybody remember that. So at that time, then Guru said, Shakyamuni Buddha prophesied that, oh yes, that Guru Padmasambhava is coming to teach that how to apply the fruition level into practice. So now the fruition level is according to the kind of absolute reality. Oh, everything is pure. Everything is pure and kind of fields, Buddha fields and celestial planets, and then kind of like all in deity nature as a deity. So that in the Vajrayana, especially in the inner Tantra, we just kind of have that view applied here to kind of engage in practice to perceive and experience and feel and kind of maintain in that way. That's what is called pure being. That's what it is the practice here as a Roman Numeral, which is commentary also kind of like explaining in that way. And so that there is no any difference in that pure field as Guru Padmasambhava and our own pure nature. So that is to kind of like establish, and according to this view and according to this understanding and according to this practice, then where actually it comes into that where there is no samsara and nirvana, two different things. It is just as it is according to the absolute reality and absolute true nature, as absolute primordial pure nature. So primordial from the very beginning, from the very beginning it is pure as it is. But as a sentient being, we got lost on the path and confused, and then got deluded, and then created this all this samsaric existence of phenomena. So, then so Guru is saying, as long as we have this pure view as it is according to the absolute reality, then that's what it is called the unsurpassable. Nothing can go beyond than that, because that is the ultimate state. And that's what it is called the Guru Padmasambhava, and Guru, that is meaning is have to understand in that way. Then the Pema, Lam Jadu the Tuna Yeda, and Devu Pema Yeva. Well, then at the end, Guru Padmasambhava. So Guru means one's mind, maintaining the absolute nature of mind, equal to Guru Padmasambhava's enlightenment. And that is the ultimate, kind of like a state, the primordial pure nature. So engaging into practice or studying the Buddhism, Vajrayana and so forth, the high Tantra, there is no anything further more to kind of search it out, or there is no any further more to kind of find as a absolute result. Other than that is kind of like pure view. So that is pure view, on the path, kind of chadurre that chunam. So once one gets into that pure view, then one just all the time try to abide, just maintain that and maintain that. So one has no anything else to do other than maintaining that pure view. So that is how these great practitioners, they just go by themselves into these isolated places, into the forests and into the Himalaya mountains or into the caves, and then they just kind of like continuously try to kind of meditate, abide there. They have nothing to do with this relative life. All sorts of kind of this relative conventional life, to what to fix and what to think and what to talk and what to act, and all those have no any much meaning for those who wish to attain that complete freedom, the complete realization, the perfection of the ultimate state. So that is path. Through that, when one maintains that kind of pure view, then all deluded mind, all emotions, all conceptual thinking, all the discursive thinking, discursive thought, everything will just kind of slowly just disappear, which means purify. And that one actualized at one form kind of like a true nature. Yet Jehu Junju Pema Deva, and then one could just get into that state of the enlightened state of mind, that one obtains that. Then there are so many of these enlightened qualities, like millions of different kinds of meditation and samadhi and miraculous activity and clairvoyance and the wisdom and so forth. All those qualities just kind of like almost spontaneously one could achieve. Like a lotus, lotus when the petals just grow up, and then finally the lotus petals spread out in all the directions. So that the Padma, lotus, how one kind of enlightened quality, kind of like a spread out or develop or actualize into this kind of ultimate state, ultimate knowledge, that which one can have. This da there do ne to be do mai ba ranju lu ki king to ravi shi ni to ba there cities. Then that way finally what one could kind of like actualize is this enlightened body, speech, mind of Guru Padmasambhava. And that same thing, all those qualities are just spontaneously present right now in our kind of true nature of mind. So that kind of once one gain that just realization or recognition of that primordial pure nature of mind, then all those what is quality there like a treasure. You find everything in this kind of like a completeness of the primordial pure nature, and that what it is called self-arriving awareness. It does not depend upon any other condition, because it is already there. It is self-arriving. So means it is not dependent upon any other cause and condition. It is primordially accomplished with all its kind of like qualities. So therefore, just a city, the final accomplishment, the final kind of like enlightenment. Lotu ishi la jiran yogo sun dobe cheyang mo tabe neba ini soto rang ripe nyusum toba tente tuhum che and the tuba chungo chete and teni tori ripe dodo kedo sunju ki nyamenda marewa sowa teka jate. So within the 700 there is a generation stage, completion stage. According to that, these four aspects of the actualizing this kind of like nature, and that to just to actualize, and then it is the at the end Guru Padmasambhava Hum. 700 at the end Guru Padmasambhava Siddhi accomplished Hum. That the sixth level. What it is explaining is that. Once one actualizes one's primordial true nature of the mind, then that itself is accomplishing with ground, path and meditation. which means the view, meditation, discipline, and fruition. Everything is promoted, accomplished in its nature. That's what it is, kind of like one to actualize. And according to that, then this not just only one enlightened kind of body. Then they have done these three kaya, dharma kaya, sambho kaya, nirmana kaya, which is kind of three kinds of enlightened form. And there also can be five kaya, dharma kaya, sambho kaya, nirmana kaya, and then vajra kaya, and then the swabhadika kaya. These all are in Sanskrit word, which means these five kinds of enlightened aspects of the form. And then according to that, the five wisdom from one enlightened mind can actualize that five wisdom. And then this kind of enlightened nature can multiply. And that is how it manifests in form of these peaceful deities and prayerful deities, talking about 100 deities. So in this what's the Padmasambhava prayer, from one wisdom that is kind of like multiplied and made that kind of five wisdom, and then rest of all the kind of deity, and that to actualize with that, then at the end saying Hum. So Guru Padmasambhava Hum is all carry all this meaning there. When we kind of chant the Sarvana prayer, so that is the completion state. So once we have completion stage, actualize that, then we have party for tea and rice. Enjoy this one. Now also this tea is drinking nectar. Now the rice is eating fiber. It's another aspect of the nectar. So that also we have to make of it. Thinking that those who understand Tibetan will know thinking that. Thinking samadhi, meditation, sad food. So that is how Buddha, sitting in meditation for 6 years, not eating anything, not drinking anything, abide by meditation, one survive. And for that, no need to concern about, what one need to have something for breakfast and lunch and dinner and what is going to eat for tomorrow and what we need to buy and shopping and all. You need all those things. Just stay in meditation. In meditation itself holds our life force. So without eating and drinking, one can kind of survive. So that is what they thinking said. This is also something like that. So we try this in a happy thinking that. This orange is coming from Sanskrit. Sanskrit, Guru, which is pure parents also have knowledge. Okay, then you can so I will continue. So in this way, according to this generation stage and completion stage. So generation stage means that utilization, to utilize, like Guru Padmasambhava or any other deity, according to the sadhana, that's just the generation stage. Utilization means the appearance. Then completion stage. Completion stage means that it's called in Tibetan Buddhism. Completion stage means it's kind of like emptiness nature. So the appearance of the deity and then the emptiness nature of the deity just have to be inseparable. In the Sutrayana, it talks about the two truths, relative truth and absolute truth. And the relative truth means all these appearances of the phenomena of our sixth sense, object. All is known as relative truth as appearance. All this form, eyesight, form, sound, smell, taste, texture, and then the phenomena. Those all appearance, and that is called relative truth. And then this relative truth is always non-dual with the absolute truth, which is called this emptiness. So form emptiness, sound is emptiness, and smell is emptiness, taste is emptiness, texture is emptiness, phenomena is emptiness. So the emptiness does not negate the appearance of phenomena. It doesn't do any disturbance. In many ways, people understand emptiness means nothingness. So form emptiness, maybe that all form disappear, nothing is left out. That is not the actual understanding, actual understanding of the emptiness. So emptiness is just the nature of the form. Emptiness is the the absolute nature of the sound. Emptiness is the absolute nature of the smell. Emptiness is the absolute nature of the taste. Emptiness is the absolute nature of the texture. So emptiness is the nature of the all phenomena. So where there is phenomena, there is emptiness. Where there is emptiness, there is phenomena. There cannot be a single phenomena which is not emptiness. Impossible. There cannot be a emptiness without any appearance. Impossible. So that way, have to just kind of like understand what is called the absolute nature of phenomena is non-dual of the relative truth and the absolute truth as appearance and emptiness. That is what we, like the Nagarjuna's, the Prachana Paramita, that commentary, just to understand about that. So to understand that, there are all these logical reasonings that which establish that in all our institutions, kind of colleges, studying about those, kind of Madhyamika, Avtara and so forth. So once one has that understanding, then that is, when it comes to the deity nature, or deity's appearance is emptiness. Emptiness is deity's appearance. And the deity's speech mantra, its nature is emptiness. And emptiness and the mantra, kind of sound, inseparable. And the deity's, kind of like typical appearance, however it is pure, however it is absolute reality, however it is promoted as it is, but still its nature is empty. And so emptiness does not cause any problem for appearance of the deity or appearance of phenomena. So they are very kind of what's that kind of like interrelationship or kind of very mutual understanding. And it is kind of like that emptiness and appearance inseparable. So that way have to establish the view. So with our mind, where there is mind in the sense of aware, means knowing. No eyes can see, no eyes can see that which you are knowing. When most moment your eyes open, you see. So that is the awareness. But still that the awareness, how you see the phenomena, if you go investigating and analyzing over and over, there is no anything that you can find out or it sees in this way. Cannot identify anything because it is emptiness in nature. Similarly, sound. And rest of the five sense objects, and that way have to kind of like understand how they are non-dual in nature. So this is very profound, very profound. And when you see in this way, everything is pure. There is nothing to abandon anything. There is nothing to achieve. Within that view, it is already accomplished, the siddhi, Guru Padmasambhava already accomplished in its perfection. In its perfection, then it is already become enlightened. So that enlightenment is possible when you know this view, this absolute nature, when you first establish to understand. Then try to experience it through meditation. Then finally you have actual recognition. Then you have realization. Once you have realization, you are done with it. There is nothing more to do anything else. And you achieve the ultimate goal. And then kind of like the extra ordinary happiness. that which never ever loses. But still you don't have that conceptual feeling and conceptual thinking, oh, this is so happy. Nothing there. But still it is perfect in this kind of like a nature. So, that's what the accomplishment, of the final state. That are young, so that saying that the king of the prayer, that which could accomplish everything, is known as the seven-line prayer. So seven-line prayer is done as a prayer, as a supplication prayer, as a meditation practice, as a practice of the generation state and completion state, and as a view, meditation and discipline. All these practice can be done within the seven-line prayer. So that is why the Buddha's kind of like 84,000 verses of the teaching is condensed in seven-line prayer. As I mentioned in the very beginning, day before yesterday, I don't know, maybe day before. So, yesterday morning, and with the Vajrayana, there are kind of like 6 categories of the kind of tantra, including the great perfection of chanting. That says 6,400,000 verses. And that kind of like a whole complete explanation is contained here in the seven-line prayer. This seven-line prayer, kind of I received from that this one is Khenchen when our holiness invited from Tibet to our monastery in South India, so he taught that. And that is what it is part of his instruction. How to understand that seven-line prayer. So, according to many other treasure of rigorous revolution of these kind of secret mantrayana teaching, that which is saying the seven-line prayer is the king of the supplication prayer. So, according to that, when we do this, then this prayer sincerely with devotion and so forth, then one day it's possible the Guru Padmasambhava can be appear in front of you. And then you receive direct, kind of like teachings, importance, and more or less once you have that, you are almost enlightened. Because like many of the great masters of the kind of like Tibetan, that they have this vision of Guru Padmasambhava, the wisdom form, like Jimmy and Munjatoje and so many of those masters. Because the Guru Padmasambhava, the enlightened kind of being, as I mentioned earlier, that never goes from anywhere and never comes from anywhere. It is always present there, which is called the present moment of the awareness. So, as we could establish this view, we have to maintain in the present moment of awareness. So that what according to that, the revolution says, as one do the seven prayer one day, it is possible one could have the just direct perception of the Guru Padmasambhava. So this one can do as a retreat, maybe like 1 week, or 21 days, or even just kind of like a few months. If one could not have that, just accomplishment, result of having the purification and receiving blessing, and could have the direct perception of the Guru Padmasambhava wisdom body, then one can continue for like kind of more months and years. So otherwise it's saying kind of we do for 1 week or 24, 21 days. Do this supplication prayer as 700 prayer and then Bhaja Guru Mantra. According to that is saying Uju Jimpin Bhaja Guru Najo. One could receive all the blessings. Through that way, one could get rid of all sorts of obstacles. And the obstacles is also not kind of like anything coming outside. Obstacle is also whatever one has done in one's many previous lifetimes, all those negativity that they ripen in form of obstacle in this life. So when that one receives blessing, all those obstacles can be kind of like naturally cleared up, and possible to have accomplishment. Guru Niki Sungi Sheshele, even Guru Padmasambhava himself, kind of the commandment that said, Sheshele has, this is several prayer with kind of very sincere mind, kind of like a 100% sense of devotion, with single pointed mind, when one do this 700 prayer. And that is how kind of according to our kind of performance of the puja, ritual, where have this damaru and bell and drums and symbols, and those are just kind of like part of the music that making that offering. And in that way, one do this 7 prayer, and with all those kind of pujas and prayer. Prayer, Ojing Mani, Naya Perine, or Chepe Kumu, Mai music, something Narayan. So then, if we do this prayer in this way, Guru Padmasambhava said, I am Ujjain Pamadune from this covered color mountain. Instantly will just kind of like come, Ujjain Mani, I am very kind of like covered color mountain. Chepe Kumu. So like for example, like once the mother's child, kind of very dear to kind of the mother, and once kind of child is with problem crying, then mother will instantly come there to take care of it. Similar like that, when we do this Saranam prayer, kind of very sincerely, this prayer, then Guru Padmasambhava will instantly come like that mother, just instantly be there to take care of that crying child. So that Guru Padmasambhava himself said, Jingi Loko, then instantly gives you blessing. And that is the tamtik, that Guru Padmasambhava, that is the samaya. Guru Padmasambhava, he said, this is my samaya. And even he said, Narayan is kind of promise. He said, I promise. If you do this 7 prayer very sincerely with single pointed mind, kind of for kind of days and days, weeks and 3 weeks or more prayer, then same like that, crying child, the mother have no choice to just come there to take care. Similar like that, kind of he will be here. Then in this sense of kind of appearance and that blessing, as I mentioned already, that not necessarily kind of like a Guru Padmasambhava just whole complete sense of appearance. The blessings can happen in so many ways. So many ways, in so many kind of like experiences. For example, like immediately just one feel like very blissful after doing those prayer practice, and physically and mentally very blissful. As I told the story about that, who was doing retreat with the Saranam prayer, and he got sick, and finally, he dedicated into it. Then he got well, blissful. And then also certain experience that your mind was just very, very clear and calm. Calm means all sorts of conceptual thoughts and emotions and afflicted mind, all those subside, become that subside. And then your mind relaxing in just complete peace. And almost like no thoughts, no kind of disturbances, no kind of peace and calm and clear. And then many other qualities can arise. Those are the, when one receives blessing, can experience. And then even just sitting with that meditation as completion state, that means that you are abiding in that view, and almost like no any samsaric thought is arising at all. Then when you feel that, your mind is in complete peace, and internally, externally, kind of like so much of joy and happiness. So no matter external one goes upside down, for oneself, there is nothing, anything negative is happening. It is all in peace and pure, in that way. That's what it is, kind of like what Guru Padmasambhava kind of like said. Singular Narayana. Namasangyu Khenchen se onjete tende tiju tam bigi ju tiju da angela tuba ndami chapa je chodu ni kan nitin nam tuba la gen te duje te onje mai tuba tiju cheta. Then another revolution, the treasure that is kind of sealed by Guru Padmasambhava in the 7th century. Then at the same time, Guru Padmasambhava had prophesied all those treasurer revealers who will reveal out all those kind of like teachings. So one is from this Lama Sangyu. Like the every in 1 year there is 12 months. One in kind of like that which is called monkey year. And monkey years that the 10th day, that Guru Padmasambhava kind of normally kind of like really appear. And every month on the 10th day, that which is we consider as Guru Padmasambhava's kind of special day, which means when we do like a Lama Rinpoche Guru Padmasambhava's practice, and then Guru Padmasambhava appear. And appear in kind of every practitioner's individual way, with those experiences and with those feeling just kind of peaceful, and so many aspects of kind of like result of the kind of blessing that Guru Padmasambhava said. He will be kind of here almost like a pervasive to the world, because Guru Padmasambhava's only job is just to take care of sentient being. That is what he said. He had no any other thing to do other than just caring for the sentient being. So when we kind of pray, then kind of he will be appearing here. So one's whole lifetime engaged into this Guru Yoga practice with Guru Padmasambhava, Saranam prayer, Vacharu, Manta, and so forth. Then whenever impermanence happens to oneself, uncertain death happens to oneself, one's consciousness, one's mind would just dissolve into Guru Padmasambhava's heart. Means you become one with Guru Padmasambhava. Means you are just equally enlightened like Guru Padmasambhava. Oh, okay, go to the shed. Mama to pay something. Mama to the some native days, to talk on the hearing, tower from the tuna young. Many days do not net. Mental subject, mental to the common, church from the topic to the tuna young, many to come over shed. Some way is to give me permanent unit of food or home. Also, when you dislike the Guru Padmasambhava, it says, don't dislike Guru Padmasambhava with like us, flesh, bone, blood, like substantial. So instead, he said, where you put bone means rainbow, like a rainbow. You can see, appearance, but there is no anything ordinary, substances. As I mentioned, that the story of King Tsewang Gyatso touching his forehead to Guru Padmasambhava's knee, and that he could not just touch on Guru Padmasambhava's knee. It went through all the way to the cushion. But when you look, it's there. So there is no any real substantial thing. For example, if you come like you say stick, Guru Padmasambhava, if you say stick like this, it will go through it. Because there is no any substantial thing. That is why enlightened form is, as said, is not self-characterized nature. It's just only wisdom. So wisdom is like, just look at your mind. Your mind can think, conceptualize, and feel emotion. But there is no any flesh, no any substance, no any color or anything. What is the picture? So that's what Guru Padmasambhava can like this. And it's that the moment you prepare for this pujas and prayers, and he said, I'm already there. So when you have very sincere mind and then sincerely do all these supplication prayers, that I will be there. But whether one would have that direct perception of the Guru Padmasambhava or not is depending upon how much we must purify our obscuration. And as we do more practice of curation, purify, when all the obscuration purified, then one can have direct perception. That's what can explain. Kitu ringe laso be chitu se dikhi nego to chitu rete chechebe dala rete no ni ke no nyam de yi to ni ta te cha sheran matu pe sanje sanje ru matu sanje tom ani te chu and Guru Padmasambhava, if you through seven prayer and through this kind of meditation practice, if you could accomplish kind of Guru Padmasambhava, you could accomplish with all the Tathagata, all the Buddha, you accomplish everything. So that through this practice, if you could if you could see Guru Padmasambhava, then you can have the vision of all the Buddha. Because he is the condensed nature of all the Buddha, all the enlightened beings. So, that Guru Padmasambhava is an activity to benefit all sentient beings, that it is equal to space. So it is pervasive to care for all sentient beings. All sentient beings, always there. But the thing is, we have to create a condition to have that access to Guru Padmasambhava. Just have to create a kind of like a condition. And that condition is like 7 line prayers, Bhajagudu Mandaras, and those kind of practices. And when we would not create that kind of continue, what's the condition? Conducive condition. Then if a good Padmasambhava here, one cannot see, one cannot feel, one cannot understand. So that is why whether these Buddhas and deities and Guru Padmasambhava so forth, that they could have that, like a recipient that blessing and benefit is depending upon individual, kind of like follower, individual, kind of person. Not of the kind of deity or the Guru Padmasambhava or kind of Buddha. For example, that saying, anyway, on this earth, sun arises every morning, and the sun's light spreads out, and it has its own natural, kind of like a light and warmth, and that which drives and which ripens, and all sorts of that sunshine. That so many those activities are done, kind of in its natural way. But the cave which is facing north, there is no sunlight can go in. So it is not the fault of the sunlight, it is the fault of the cave itself. So there are also, kind of like, even Guru Padmasambhava and Buddha said, all these like being cared for, all sentient beings, kind of without anything discriminating at all. But whether that they could receive that blessing, benefit out of it or not, is that one has to create that condition. So it is not that of the like a fault of the enlightened beings or Guru Padmasambhava, those who could not receive the blessing, if as long as one could not create that condition. Then like that is the cave facing which is not. So that way we have to kind of like understand about the supplication, that prayer, and that how we are creating that condition. Oh, the shifted the Chimato, never got to come to people that they shall have done session and potential and never union that they were church and not to only meeting on the name to the number of Ramazan, the Lungi Tunjan there, Tunjan, there was some of the ye, Judan, Chinkule, Kan, pointing to the Lama. Lama rendering the legend situ to the legend, Dana Juniki, Shemiki, somebody, Tuesday. Did you attend the day of Saturday share or tongue? Don't come some years, or what you put in the Mijun chair, Nijora, and measure the day we are putting to some of the Teman, take a day on putting to share or vision do. You don't read, very not, Unamki, or Nunamki Chulu, don't put on the so another way, another way, some young putting to in there. So, like that how Guru Padmasambhava, his kind of like the represent like kind of statues and then his kind of like all these gifts that which is blessed by Guru Padmasambhava and so forth. That there are all those kind of like practitioners, and there are all different kinds of sadhana that how to engage in the practice. That is why in Nima, that kind of treasure, there are so many of treasurer revealers, and that which has revealed of so many, kind of like tantric practices. As you see, like Pujo Jindu, like Wachamo, like Gunjin Yingde, like Namche, and like Chandar, and so forth, so many of the revolutions. those all are in the kind of the representations of Guru Padmasambhava himself. That's what Guru Padma is saying here. Subject again, Chetu Yin, some more one of legend, one because we have a day, money book, or our situation, money Chetu, but then one of the so whoever do this prayer, Savana prayer and Guru Padmasambhava, they're saying he's never separated with those. No order yet. Penju Jintik Nimashi Nimai. So that's saying whatever Guru Padmasambhava said. He said, oh, I Peman Junior will never tell lie. So that is a very powerful expression, Of course, enlightened deities, how is it possible to lie? And never ever deceive anyone. Never ever betray anyone. Because they are perfectly enlightened and perfectly caring for every single standard being in whatsoever sorts of kind of method or aspect or just in any condition. Movement create little bit of condition just wants to kind of like anything. So it is all completely depend upon oneself whether one could receive the blessings and have all these experiences and accomplishment and realization is whether we could create that positive condition to receive Guru Padmasambhava's blessing and so forth. Oh, the Mangay is a Sanjay very to the Tamachin. No so that's saying, as we already gone, in the sphere of Dharmakaya, the Buddha Samin Bhadra, and then in like the kind of like the pure field of the all Ishvara, Genesis, the Patala, then that is the kind of like Genesis. And in Buddha Gaya, that where this Shakyamuni Buddha is enlightenment. So these are Dharmakaya, Subhakaya, and Nirmanakaya. So, relatively it looks like the three different enlightened beings. In reality, Guru Padmasambhava is non-dual with all these, that there is no any kind of separation at all. So that is why if we accomplish with Guru Padmasambhava, we could accomplish with all the deities, all the Buddhas, all the kind of like a object of refuge. So, in this way, here, report so many different revolutions that what Guru Padmasambhava had kind of like expressed and how Guru Padmasambhava kept in the hidden treasure, and so that explains everything in that way. So Doje Sheshi Lume Mungu Sung that Vajra comments, Vajra commitment. Indestructible commitment that Guru Padmasambhava, what he said, he will be present, he will care, and he will be there, and he will give blessing, and he will accomplish everything, whoever just kind of like supplicate and engage into practice. So these are like, Vajra commitment. So that commitment is indestructible. Means it is just 100% could be, kind of like sure. In that way. So there are many quotes that which goes on, so many of that, but actually almost all the kind of meanings are more or less kind of like the same. So but Namya Miluwe Dajitabi Gita Nila Chante, Tamne Chicho Kundu, 이제는 모르니 손에 좀 누구 당을 받는데 결국은 이름도 중을 자대 너무 군대 시키는 롤에 주면서는 그래서 제대로 내는 거고 저만 된다 tel 들 저만 내가 같이 되는 가지고 먼저 저 용기 tukju yuwa te annon te non dul tuman namun shetum bata so for that day how Guru Padmasambhava is conducts of all these Buddha and if one accomplish Guru Padmasambhava one can accomplish all the deity and one could kind of like actualize attain that complete enlightenment and good liberate. And once one has that experience, realization, then again oneself, kind of like from any aspects of the enlightened aspect of the Guru Padmasambhava, enlightened body, speech, mind activity, same like that one could have enlightened body, speech, mind and activity that again, kind of naturally wants to, benefit all sentient beings. Same like Guru Padmasambhava. That's what it is, the ultimate fruition. So, to happen that, then before we engage into that practice, we always emphasize on what is called bodhicitta, the intention. Or I want to attain enlightenment to benefit all sentient beings and to liberate all sentient beings to enlightenment. So, from the very beginning, we cultivate that intention of the Maya, the great ego that one wants to care for all sentient beings. Once that accomplished, then it is spontaneously, naturally, it kind of happen that one cares for, to help all other sentient beings. Yeah, so then stop here. I don't know if anybody have any question. I don't know if we have any time.
My question to you is the karma we do is bigger or the dharma we practice?
Say it again, I don't hear from.
My question to you is the karma that we do more efficient in our journey to enlightenment or the dharma that we practice?
So you are asking that if karma can be purified through the more practice? Is that what you are asking?
Like, which is more important? Effectively.
What?
Is the dharma?
So because the echo, I could not hear the clear word. Maybe you can come a little bit closer. Good, yeah.
Is the karma that we do, the good karma, is that more effective or the dharma that we practice?
Yeah, karma is, however, it is created throughout body, speech, mind, and that the kind of like mental actions, verbal action, and physical action. Whether we do something positive which is virtuous or whether we do something negative which is non-virtuous, and that what is called karma. So this karma can be, good thing is this karma can be exhausted in two ways. One is through this practice. Through this practice all the karma can be erased, purified. And that way karma can be just gone. And then the second is this karma ripen in one's, like for example, like this lifetime, kind of good karma just ripen in form of happiness, negative karma arrives in the form of the suffering, and then that way it occurs. So that is why before karma is ripening, if one do this practice, then karma exhausted, then one don't have to reborn back into samsara anymore. Is that answer for you? Okay.
对不起，空给提问一下，老的一方面，连啥下去了？老的老的一方面连叫啥下去？你给起来了，世界给起来的是，
through the physical activity, try to just concentrate more into virtuous activity itself is also dharma. So practice of dharma can be done in so many ways. For example, like even just doing prostration, and then manipulating, and then doing other mantras, and then kind of printing dharma books, and making offerings of this fatherland, and making offerings of fruits and foods, and kind of all other, like fill up the shrine with all other offerings, and all those are part of kind of like a dharma practice. And at the same time, whatever one do is also physical activity is involved. So physical activity, that whatever one do, anything that which is virtuous, is more from the aspect of the dharma practice. If one wants body, spirit, mind to kind of fall down more of the negative side, then it is against the dharma practice. Then it is not dharma. It is not to be kind of like a practice. And then those are the more typical and bodily group. So here it is a more important is the mind. Because mind is like a king, and the speech and body is like a minister. So the mind in the kind of dharma practice is just like bodhicitta, generation bodhicitta. And then in the mind, that the dharma practice is concentrating on the view and maintaining that view, and so forth. All those kind of like practices, including all the vajrayana, including what the Dzogchen practices through the mind. Even that visualizing Radha Day and Guru Padmasambhava is mainly done through the kind of like the mind and the generation stage, cognition stage. That is all kind of like a dharma, which is more effective and more close to the absolute nature.
If someone treats a person or a family with wholehearted kindness and patience and sincerity, yet the other side never changes the harmful behavior, well, the mind becomes confused, Sharila. So when I pray, sometimes I wonder, why does karma not seem to ripen for them? Is it wrong or a sin to ask such a question while praying Chikdirwal? And the second one, how should one understand karma correctly in such situations, and how should I protect my own mind?
The question grows as much as I say.
Pechashna bala, Michila, the pay me in the sweet, Susuke, Tamutamsha, Chayaku, Chiduga, and the push should be Dua Manuki, and so Hadi Chiduga, the Sepal, innocent of me, the day in the question to Kade, this is something like the Pipaina, and the debate, just Molon, the Chiwari, that is Pipaina, Hadi. And they can't follow like the sympathy, exercise of sympathy, and this is the overcome.
But then, कैसे कुछ तो मैं चीज़ होगी ताज में सिंचे बच्चन में ताज कुछ सिंचे बच्चन में ताज होता है चलना है लेकिन तब एक पूरा मास होता है अब तो के पे आने की वो तब भी लोग चले मैंने 전주선 배 그런다 practice or man they are better integral. I should say more in English. I'm sorry. So the Bodhisattva, one generated bodhicitta and then practice on it become Bodhisattva and then become Bodhisattva mind training. Then that is what is called like unconditioned love, unconditioned compassion. Just doesn't expect anything from the other side, whether you do, kind of how much good things, support and advice and anything, whatever you do, there is no tiny bit of expectation just coming to you. And that way is a, kind of a pure practice. But at the same time, the normal practice always, if I will be nice and if I help and if I teach and if I advise, and then this person will become better and will also do good to me, and that involves expectation. So with that expectation, it is kind of like difficult sometimes, and it is also depend upon oneself and that person's kind of previous lifetime. In certain ways, how much one tries to be nice and good, still that person never understands and never respect and never kind of follow. And it is that kind of part, how it is happening in that way, one's own karma, and also the other part is his own kind of like negative karma. So for that, then one, whatever just support one can do, just help, that's what one do. And kind of like, don't expect anything. And, as one do, eventually that person may, kind of not instantly just, follow everything, but after a while, maybe, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, then slowly just, kind of understand it. And then get kind of better. So from one side, with that good intention, just do whatever kind of possible good things, help or to benefit one can do, and just do. And don't expect anything instantly that will change and will become kind of the good. Part is so much is depend upon individual kind of karma, and so that. Whatever one do something good, and then if one regret, or I tried this, I did all the good things, but this person never appreciate, and then if one regret, then all the good things that one has done, it will diminish. So, try to do whatever, just meritorious or piety, that way to help and to support, kind of do. And then, just kind of let it be in that way, not to expect, and no need to find out whether it is one's own karma or his own karma, because karma is also very complicated, very complex. It's not that easy that karma can be, kind of A plus 2 and 2 plus 3, and this cannot calculate easily like that. So, the best thing is one has that right intention, good intention, and try to do that, and then you have to see whatever it works out. That is maybe your first question, and second question you have that.
While praying Buddha, so that you feel it. So sometimes while praying, is it sin or is it wrong to ask such questions like why does this person like the karma doesn't write him?
Yeah, so that if one do kind of like prayers for the welfare of that person, is anyway it is good, it is virtuous. But if one have conceptual thinking, something more negative, of course, then that negative karma for oneself. So that is why it is always important to have all positive or virtuous thought all the time, no matter whether from the other side it's a good response or negative response, but from one side always have that virtuous thought, and with that virtuous kind of like prayer, always concentrating that way. That is the proper way according to the Dharma.
Thank you.
President Mr. Thank you for such profound response on this 7 line prayers of Guru Padmasambhava. And we have benefited immensely from your teaching today and yesterday. You also touched on the emptiness, and you also spoke about present etc. And there is so much clarity, in fact, on emptiness of intrinsic reality, as you have explained. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. I was, as a layman, would like to understand the remaining 4 elements, the feeling, wisdom, listening, composition, factor, and consciousness. How can we kind of understand as a layman the intrinsic emptiness of intrinsic reality in these remaining 4 elements? Thank you so much.
So in this field of Dharma practice and whether it is bodhicitta or emptiness, there is no any difference between whether it is ordained or kind of lay practitioner. No difference. So to have in a way to have more deeper understanding about the emptiness is not in one way to study this like Chandra-Vritti's kind of text, the Matani Avtara, or this Acharya Shandadeva, that his kind of text, Bodhisattva way of life, and that has 10 chapters, out of which is the wisdom chapter, 9-1 wisdom chapter. And so forth in kind of Nagarjuna's kind of like text. So that these as one kind of study over and read, that they are explained with the just logical reasoning. So anyway, emptiness is that is something which is very important for everybody. Kind of must have to kind of know and to establish as a view, and then they contemplate on it, and then meditate on it, and then have to experience, and that is important for all. Not difference of whether oneself is a kind of monastic life or kind of like familiar life or whatsoever. So, in a simple way to establish emptiness is called analyzing, to analyze, or kind of like investigating. For example, like say, this table. So, kind of we see this table like truly existing, and can touch and can see and can, kind of feel everything. So that is why we feel like this is, kind of like real and truly existing. But that table is just a name. So given that name table to like this kind of structure. So this table is arising out of causes and conditions. That's what we do call the interdependently arising, interdependent origination, interdependent origination. So this table, if we just kind of investigate where is the table, if this flat form, if this table, if we take the tables, parts and portions and particles and smaller particles and to search it out where is the table as an inherent existence of the table, if we just investigate in that way, you will never find it. This upper portion taken into not table, and the legs is not table, and the shape is not table, and then cut into pieces, and every wood cannot find the table, and cut into smallest pieces, just to look where is the table, you cannot find it. So, when you investigate with logical reasoning, whether it is kind of existing by one or many, this Acharya Shankarakshita, like a mathematic Alankara, kind of written one that kind of text that says, or this whether the phenomena is existing by kind of like by single entity or by many, kind of like investigating. So in this way, when you examine, this table is not existing by as a single entity because it is collection of so many kind of like pieces, and that is originally from the tree and then cut better and then cut into and then worked out and then kind of form this what is called table. But so there is no a single entity that to identify as a table. Cannot find. So if it is not a single entity, then if it arises out of kind of many, or then every single aspects and parts and portions and particles of this kind of table, when you kind of like search it out, which is table, also you can find. So from the absolute point of view, as a kind of like mentioned, there is no a table inherently existing as a table. There is no a table inherently existing as true nature. Cannot find. How much you investigate, how much you look into it, whatsoever you try to search it out, it is all just based on interdependently or arrival. So something that which is arising out of causes and conditions, in this relative world, means it is not existing as an inherent true nature. If there is a phenomena, something that which is existing as an inherent true nature or inherently existing, then what it will be? It will become permanent. So all this phenomena is all arising out of interdependent origination. All sorts of causes and conditions assembled together, including this iPhone and tables and these computers and the cars and all these airplanes, all just composed of so many causes and conditions assembled together, then it appears a one phenomena called kind of like aeroplane, car, just computer, iPhone, and so forth. But that is all just merely a name. There is no inherent existence of a single entity as a table or as a aeroplane or as a car and as a computer cannot find in this whole world or in this whole kind of universe. Cannot find that inherent in nature. So that the other example is when we like one thing in the mirror. In the mirror you can see your face. So that way, when you kind of like when you look at the mirror, you can see your face there. So that just when you search it out, where is that your face in the mirror, and cut that mirror into break into pieces. Is that image your face is on the mirror or inside the mirror or outside of the mirror or any pieces of mirror, and even you break kind of into pieces, you will never ever find that kind of like a reflection of your face in the mirror, because it is completely an illusion. Illusion. Your face is here, and then it is kind of like a reflect, and that mirror has that a kind of condition that which can hold an image. And that way, in front of mirror, in other condition is your face is there. So these cause and conditions, all assembled together. Even there is a mirror, your face is here. If there is no light, you cannot see your image. So you have to have light. And even there is the mirror which can hold image, and your face is here, and there is the light, but if there in between something is blocking, also you cannot see your image in the mirror. So it has to have all the conducive cause and condition that kind of clear mirror in front which you are, and with the light and all everything, then you can see that image. But your face never ever existed in the mirror at any time. It is completely false illusion. So, same like that. This all phenomenon we see like this appears real. But as we investigate and analyze and search it out of every single phenomenon according to its kind of level of name, cannot find anything kind of truly existing. So that which leads to kind of emptiness. Everything is emptiness, but because of the cause and condition, things can appear. So that is why emptiness and interdependent origination, they are just kind of like mutually support each other. Kind of like emptiness does not disturb the interdependent ordination. Interdependently arising does not negate with the kind of emptiness. So emptiness and the interdependent ordination is kind of like a non-dual, cannot kind of settle. Emptiness and emptiness. That they are kind of non-dual in its nature. That's also been very profound Dharma teaching taught by Buddha. So that is why kind of like so just kind of like extraordinary Dharma teaching. So I say homage to you. That Nagarjuna says, So that way we have to try to find it out.
So my question is, coming from this generation,
it is really, it is not difficult actually, but sometimes we do not get the time also to do the prostration properly or do the mantras, like for a very long time. So my question is, but what I believe is about the Buddhism that we can do it through the act of service, and I try to do it best of my capacity. But when I go to Bodh Gaya and I see people with full dedication, full devotion, doing prostration, not taking bath for like many days and so, I feel guilty about it. I tend to doubt my dedication and my devotion towards the deity. So my question is that, is it okay to do whatever we can do for the Guru Rinpoche in our capacity, or should we go beyond our limit or our time to just to prove that we are dedicated to mantras? Or I think the brother also was trying to question it. Is it okay if we do just in our capacity, like through giving or whatever we can do in our capacity, or is it compulsory that we have to sit down for hours, do mantra, pray, all the mantras that is needed, or devotion like through prostration, every day?
So, as we want to move in a Dharma practice and Dharma field, there are so many aspects that one can do. As you said, some day do prostration for 4 days, some day do all this mantra, some day do meditation, some day do all day chanting prayer. All of these are also kind of like a good. At the same time, also do service to help kind of like poor people and any kind of just old people or kind of sick people, and doing something kind of like that service, something that which is helping others. Those are also part of can understand as that is positive practice. But the thing is, kind of like everything depends upon one's intention. So, if one's, for example, if one's kind of intention that, I want to kind of offer all these flowers and fruits and butter lamps and so forth to do, kind of do all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and masters, kind of to accumulate enough merit to attain kind of enlightenment. With the kind of bodhicitta that if one make that kind of offering, it is kind of like which can become virtuous and meritorious. But in that same way one do, but it wants kind of intention. Or if I do all this kind of like offering and butter and so many things, kind of many people making that, this person is very dedicated, this person is making lots of offering. If one expects for something, then it is not that much kind of like a virtuous, and it is not that much accumulating merit. So it is depending upon the intention. So that is why the actual Dharma practice is just kind of like a watching of the mind, whether one have that virtuous thought or not. And if one have anything that is a kind of like a negative thought, but externally it looks like a Dharma, but not necessarily it will become Dharma to accumulate merit. If one's mind is virtuous with the kind of like a right intention of kind of like bodhicitta, even typically the act looks like negative, it not necessarily becomes negative. So that is why there is the if you read the Padmasambhava Rinpoche's kind of like mentor teaching, the words of my perfect teacher, that explains one kind of simple example, that there was a Tata, this is Tata Buddha's image on the clay. Then somebody kind of create that and then left outside near like a stupa. And then one just kind of person comes and, oh, it's so stupid, this Tata is very precious, Buddha image, and that's why gives, sun and rain, then, it will spoil it. So he wants to protect it. He looked around and cannot find anything other than a piece of, kind of like shoe cloth. And then he brought that and put on the, kind of, the Tata. So his intention was good. And then the next again, after that, another person comes, oh, what a stupid person is. On the Tata, they are putting this dirty cloth on the Tata. This is very bad. People stupid, don't know anything. And then he threw it out. So, this two action seems like opposite. But their intention to cover it up is, positive intention. And the one who threw it away is also positive intention. So that is why, and including that person who created that, kind of Tata. And through that, kind of one single, kind of like a positive method that they become false and finally slowly through that they accumulate merit and they got, kind of like a liberate. So, it is not depending upon how it looks like, but it is the intention. So, every time one has to check one's intention, whether one do service or whether one do mantra, whether one do procession, whether one do circumambulation, and whatever other sorts of dharma activities do, should to just kind of like examine one's kind of intention. But out of all these dharma practices, the typical kind of dharma practice such as like kind of building up the tatas and the stupas and then circumambulation and prostration and similarly verbally chanting mantras and prayers and all those are kind of like not that much powerful. And as long as one has intention, it is good, it helps, it is virtuous, so it will accumulate merit, but still it is not exactly to the point of the, ultimate meaning of the Dharma teaching. So that is why that, the ultimate point of the Dharma teaching is to recognize, one's absolute nature of mind, to purify this ignorance. So that is why this, kind of like a, contemplating on like emptiness, and contemplating on emptiness, investigating about just emptiness nature, and then kind of like a meditating on it is just kind of like a that which helps to clear out the darkness of the ignorance. So that is why to gain wisdom is the just the main practice that which is at the crucial point of the Dharma teaching, that which can get rid of the ignorance and including absolute emotion and the cognitive obscurations that all can purify when you gain this wisdom. Transcendental wisdom. The Prajna, Paramita in Sanskrit, transcendental wisdom, just gaining that kind of knowing the absolute nature of phenomena or absolute nature of the mind. That is the kind of like a direct and main point of the Dharma teaching. The rest, all other things is to support, to accumulate little bit merit here and virtues here and this and that, and then finally they have to come to this point. So that way one have to just to contemplate and then come to that finalization that mostly that the mental intention and where it is involved with the bodhicitta. And then kind of knowing about the absolute nature of mind, which is when one gains the transcendental wisdom, it is a direct antidote for the ignorance to purify. So that when you gain the wisdom, Wisdom is like the light of the sunshine. When the sun shines, the sun's light, then the darkness of the night is just completely gone. Similar like that, the moment you gain the wisdom, the light of the transcendental wisdom, when you gain, the darkness of the ignorance and afflictive emotion are kind of like completely purified. Then that gains what is the absolute true nature of mind, absolute true nature of phenomena, just attain that kind of enlightenment. So that is the main practice. And that is more effective and more powerful.
Today we have to the teaching of continuous so we are very thankful to your teaching. And my question is like you have given teaching regarding the completion stage and visualization. Before reciting we get 7 line prayer. 7 line prayer. Then we have to visualize like Dhanapusha Dev as a then Pema, on the top of the Pema, visualize the
Yeah.
So, in that, like, there is also like meditation, like we can visualize. Visualization is also like meditation.
Yes.
Then after that, like after visualization, we have to recite maybe we will sometime that 7 line prayer. For how long we can like pray, we can pray. So after that completion stage it has come. So in that completion stage, like again, which is body, speech and mind, and mind, body, speech and mind is same, like there is no dual, like that is inseparable. So we have to visualize that. So after the visualization, after that visualization, then further what like I'm confused. Further like means some how to like finish that meditation part. Last week.
Yeah.
And in that meditation, but sometimes like we are like very engaged in our livelihood, and we are with while meditation also many things are coming and going. So if thoughts come, then that what should we do? Like we have to contemplate on that thoughts, or we have to like what can we do to get rid of that thought?
Yeah. That is, this practice applied to the 2 ways. One is, as I said, meditation equipoise. Meditation equipoise, in kind of real practice, then kind of like doing 7 line prayer, and as one do 7 line prayer, then you can visualize the Lotus, and then you Guru Padmasambhava, and then you kind of like concentrate one's mind in that visualization, and concentrating one's mind into that visualization itself, kind of without getting distracted and maintained. That will also, help to gain the shamatha meditation. It can gain. So that way, one while one does that sitting and visualize with that, and then we see 7 line prayer. 7 line prayer, kind of like over and over and over, with that continuity of visualization, and concentrating on the mind, within that visualization, and that kind of one have to do that in kind of practice. When one's mind concentrate into the visualization every details about the, kind of like a Dhamma lake in Lotus is more easy, but mainly the Guru Padmasambhava's appearance, one kind of concentrating into it, then the other thoughts will not arise that much if one's mind is concentrated into the visualization. Because mind already becomes easy with the visualization into its detail. So, so that way, kind of thoughts not arise that much, and then one chants in the 700 prayer, how much one can do, 1 round mala or 2 round mala, whatever, kind of do that. Then, after that, then one just kind of, so that is why sitting, meditation. And then after that, one visualize as which is the completion state. So to experience that is kind of like emptiness nature. So then this whole completed Dhamma lake, Lotus and Guru Padmasambhava, kind of visualize that all just kind of melt into light. When it melts into light, then you feel that it is just instantly dissolved into oneself. And when that is dissolved, then one has to kind of like feel that once this ordinary body, speech, mind, and conceptual thought all just got purified. Because Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened body, speech, mind, and that blessing just once ordinary becomes purified. Then what is left out is once kind of like one's Buddha nature's kind of quality, that one's absolute nature of oneself, which is not other than the Vajra body, Vajra speech, and Vajra mind. And that and Guru Padmasambhava's enlightened body, speech, mind becomes just kind of feel like it becomes just one. So when it becomes one, then one just kind of rest and feel that just oneself is not as an ordinary being, it is just oneself is enlightened equal to like Guru Padmasambhava. So it is almost like Guru Padmasambhava's body, speech, mind, the enlightened nature. So that is once one kind of feel in that way, then you need to rest one's mind in that state of nature, pure state of body, speech, mind, kind of rest there. And that, even though it's not that easy to maintain, kind of that enlightened state of the, Guru Padmasambhava body, speech, mind, non-dual with one, because one has not done enough practice so that one's samsaric mind, his thoughts arising at that time. So when kind of thought arise, that don't pay attention on the thought. First thing, no need to stop to give rise to the thought. Anyway, one cannot also stop those thoughts. One has not overpowered to one's mind. That is why these thoughts arise. So no need to just come to worry about it. And the thing is, don't pay attention on those thoughts. And the thing is, one just kind of try to kind of concentrate and meditate as the kind of like the non-dual nature of Guru Padmasambhava body, speech, mind, and oneself, which means one just give in front in the space. And then that is just the view. That is the view, as I explained. That one's kind of like view is one's mind. Kind of when one look into one's mind, there is cannot find to identify what is mind, because mind nature is empty. But it is still there is the clarity or that awareness. So just gaze in the space and then be aware, and then don't pay attention on the thoughts, and just let it go, and then kind of like apply it in that way, kind of like clear nature of the awareness, not even with the emptiness, that part. Even though it is easier to explain, but it is harder to experience. So that one has to try, just over and over and over, just kind of sitting there and then, just sit there and thought arise, don't pay attention. Again, just try to kind of experience in that way. In that way, as one do it, practice over and over and over. And after some time, in a kind of like glimpse of it, one can feel that the emptiness, non-dual with the clarity of the mind, the awareness. And then in the beginning it happened, and then again they will gone. So have to continue that, and that way, like one session of the practice. Then after that, when you wake up from your kind of cushion and for to do whatever, then you try to kind of maintain your view at that time. Not just kind of instantly fall into samsaric thought and samsaric activity and samsaric, not just completely fall into it. Just being mindful, just wake up and then anyway just try to do that dedication at the end, and then wake up with the mindfulness, while everything is non-real of the emptiness and then awareness. Try to have that mindfulness. And that way one just kind of like do all the other activities. Then again, kind of start all over those, practice. So that way the cycle of the practice have to do, every day, over and over and over. And then after a while, through this practice itself, help to purify certain level of obscuration. And at the same time, that which helps to accumulate merit and wisdom. Accumulations of merit is accumulated by when you have the generation state visualization, and when you apply into the dissolution, the emptiness, kind of dissolution, that helps the accumulated wisdom. And that way, kind of accumulating merit and wisdom, and then purify, and then that goes through, kind of like days and weeks and months and years, and then after some time one can see the difference in one's being. Oh, no mind just kind of meditation is practice is getting more smooth, calm, clear, and the conceptual thoughts, those are becoming naturally less and less. And that way, one's practice gets better and better, and then one day one could have the direct perception of the absolute nature of mind. Okay. Now we do dedication prayer.